News. Internet is flooded with AI-related news. It is impossible to keep up. Every day there are 50 new AI tools, 10 new models, and endless noise. You can't simply read or digest all of them.
To stay ahead, we need to cut through the noise and focus on what truly matters.
Can't agree more. You must digest what it matters most to you, your career and interests. Welcome to Practical AI Forge. We don't just talk about AI, we use it to solve real-world problems. Subscribe now to turn these tools into your personal advantage.
Today, we aren't building a summarizer. We are building an autonomous AI agent that reads the internet for you, filters out the hype, and gives you only the news that actually matters to you. In this example, delivered straight to your inbox. What you are seeing in this example is not just automation of news filtering, it's agentic AI in action. This is the 2026 workflow.
Here is the high-level design of our AI agent. It starts with the input, where we ingest raw headlines from multiple RSS feeds. That data flows into the judgment layer. Here, OpenAI acts as a strict editor, analyzing every story and filtering out the noise. Only the best stories reach the researcher, where Tavily browses the live web to verify facts and write summaries. Finally, the delivery. We aggregate these insights into a single, curated email digest. It turns information overload into a clear morning briefing.
Let's build it. We are building this entire agent using n8n. It is the ultimate source-available automation tool that lets you connect apps and AI models visually. I chose it because it is incredibly powerful for orchestration and gives you full control over your data. To get started, you can visit node.js.org and download the latest LTS. There is a cloud version, with a trial period, if you don't fancy local installations. Please refer to description section for details.
Once installed, from your command prompt, type in npx n8n to launch. n8n will be launched in your default browser. I had connection issues when initially launched. Please refer to description section for notes on how to resolve it. Once launched, click on Create Workflow at the top right of the window to get started to build the workflow. We start by adding the schedule trigger. Click on the plus button, and from the sliding menu, search schedule, then select schedule trigger from the results. I'm setting this to run daily at 8 a.m. This ensures the agent wakes up automatically and has the digest ready for my morning coffee. At this moment, it is a good idea to name your workflow and save it. Next, we need to add the source of news. The RSS feeds. There are multiple free and paid options available, and you could choose what is appropriate for you. For this workflow, I am choosing TechCrunch.
Next, click the plus button to add the RSS read node. Paste in your feed URL. I'm using TechCrunch here. Let's hit execute to test it immediately. As you can see, it pulls in the latest headlines right away. This block is our raw data pipeline. It inhales everything, updates, rumors, noise, and feeds it into the system. But we don't just want data, we want insight. That is why we need the OpenAI-based judgment layer.
Before we let OpenAI analyze the content, we need to break it down. Click the plus button and add the loop over items node. This is crucial. It allows OpenAI to review each headline individually, rather than getting overwhelmed by a big list. Keep the batch size at 1. If you execute now, you'll see how it splits the data, preparing to loop through the news one by one.
Now that we have our loop, we need a brain to process the items. Search for the OpenAI node and select Messenger Model. Connect it inside your loop so it runs for every single headline. Next, select Create New Credential and paste in your OpenAI API key. Don't worry if it looks hidden. n8n automatically masks sensitive data to keep your credentials secure.
Select the OpenAI connection you just created. Select the resource as text. For the model, I am selecting GPT-4o Mini. It is significantly cheaper and faster than the larger models, which is perfect for this kind of high-volume filtering task. Next, we configure the prompt, which is the most critical part of this entire workflow. I've written it out here in a notepad so you can see the structure clearly. Notice how I am dynamically inserting the title and summary from the RSS feed using expressions. I have assigned the AI a specific persona, a senior tech editor, and given it strict scoring guidelines. I am explicitly telling it to give generic news a low score and only reserve high scores for major industry breakthroughs. By adjusting these guidelines, you have full control to fine-tune exactly what kind of news makes the cut. Once you are ready, just copy this and paste it directly into the prompt field. Crucially, I am asking it to return the result as a clean JSON object containing a score and a reason. This structured data is what allows us to mathematically filter the news in the next step. To guarantee the AI follows that format, go to Options and set Output Format to JSON object. Finally, add the temperature setting and lower it to 0.5 or lower. We want the AI to be cold, logical, and consistent, not too creative.
Now, let's run it. Click Execute step. Watch as it loops through the items, and there we go. Look at the output. For each article, we now have a clear numerical score and a reasoning string. This structured data is exactly what we need to filter out the noise in the next step. Now we need to filter the results. Add an if node to act as our gatekeeper. We need to map the value we want to check. Drag the score from the OpenAI output into value 1. Set the condition as greater or equal to and value 2 as 6, so any news with score 7 and above is considered worthy. Let's run the flow to see the result. Note, I haven't added a loop, so flow will finish after processing one item. Notice that this item went to the false branch. It had a score of 7, so that is definitely incorrect. It should have been in the true branch. Here, I made a common mistake. Instead of setting the condition to greater than or equal to 6, I accidentally set it to just equal to 6. Now that it's fixed, we should see the logic flow into the true branch.
Now that we have filtered the best stories, we need the researcher to verify and summarize them. This is where Tavily comes in. Tavily isn't just a search engine. It is a research API built specifically for AI agents. It doesn't just give us links. It reads the content and synthesizes an answer for us.
To connect it, add an HTTP request node to the true path of our filter. Since we are sending data to the API, change the method to POST. For the URL, paste in https api.tavily.com/search. Now, toggle Send Body to On. We need to construct the JSON payload that tells Tavily what to look for.
We need 3 parameters here. First, add API_key and paste your credential. You can create an account with Tavily to get the API key. Free tier will be good for this app. Second, add query. This is the most important part. Click the expression button and map it to the title of our news item. This ensures Tavily researches the specific story we found. Finally, add a third parameter called include_answer and set it to basic. This is the game changer. It forces Tavily to act like a human researcher. It reads multiple web pages related to our query and synthesizes a concise, factual summary. This saves us from having to build a complex scraper, and, most importantly, it gives our user a complete briefing directly in their morning email, so they don't even have to click the links.
Now that we executed the flow, look at the output. We have a field called Answer. This is a high-quality, research-backed summary that we can drop directly into our final email. Notice the Run drop-down at the top of the output. This allows you to toggle through each individual story Tavily researched. If you expand the results array for any item, you can see the actual list of web pages it read to generate that answer. This is visual proof of your AI researcher doing the heavy lifting for you.
Now that our loop is finished, we need to bring everything back together. Connect the done output of the loop to a new code node. This is where we aggregate all those individual research summaries into one clean email body. I'm pasting in a simple JavaScript snippet here. It essentially grabs the output from all previous steps, the titles, the scores, and those high-quality Tavily summaries, and formats them into a nice HTML list. It creates a variable called email_body that we can use in the next step. I have included this JavaScript in the description section.
Finally, add the send email node to handle the delivery. I'm using the standard SMTP connection with my Gmail account. Please note, if you have two-factor authentication enabled on Google, you cannot use your regular login password here. You must use an app password. In the description section, I've included details on how exactly to generate one in seconds. For the recipient, you can simply hardcode your own address or pull it from a database if you are sending this to a list of subscribers. Let's set the subject as AI Daily Digest. Then, change the email type to plain or HTML. In the body, we simply map the email_body variable we created in the code node. This ensures our digest looks professional and easy to read.
Let's hit execute for the final test. Watch the counters. Out of 20 raw headlines, the agent successfully identified that 12 were just noise, and only 8 were actually worth my time. Let's check the inbox, and there it is. A perfectly curated briefing waiting for me. No clickbait, no clutter, just the most critical updates, researched and summarized automatically. So, take a step back and look at what we've achieved. We didn't just create an automation, we built a personal editorial team. We took the chaotic noise of the internet, gave it a brain with OpenAI to ruthlessly filter out the junk, and hired Tavily as our dedicated researcher to verify the facts. The result is simple but powerful. You stop doom scrolling and start your day with high-signal intelligence. Now, before you go, let's see exactly how Tavily's output changes when we switch from basic to advanced. As you can see, the difference is significant. In advanced mode, the researcher doesn't just skim the surface. It digs deeper behind the headlines to provide a much richer, more detailed summary that truly explains the context. One problem down, many more to go. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, please like, share and subscribe. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. What everyday problem should we solve next?